twirls it into my palm, closes my fingers over it. Soon. And he smiles. The nurses at St. Barnabas Hospital had given up trying to chase them out. As long as the family left a path for the medical professionals, they could keep vigil around the bed, and prayers filled the air like the oxygen tubed into Nonna Antonia's nostrils. Lance breathed in the faith of his family and exhaled his own. Though bent and crinkled, Nonna had been the heart of their home his whole life, and they were not letting her go without a fight. He leaned close and squeezed the bony hand in his. Others might have taken that spot, like Nonna's own son, his pop, or Mama or his sisters, but in truth, it was his place. Lance wouldn't say that out loud, but he didn't have to. Nonna knew he was there. Even sedated, she knew, and his grip told her he'd be there as long as she needed. These last couple of years he'd wandered, trying to find reasons for questions without answers. But he was there now, and they both needed the connection of that handclasp. "I'm here, Nonna." If he could pass her his strength, he would. Comfort and courage and a little of what he'd learned on the streets. Fight back. Don't let them take you down. But he didn't have to tell her that. He'd learned it from her. His throat squeezed tight, recalling the compresses she'd held to one bruise or another. "Don't tell Pop, Nonna." "The man's got eyes, ragazzo piccolo. He might notice." But when it came to it, she had always backed him up. "Don't be hard on him. He's doing the best he can." Best was relative, though, and that's where he came up short, unlike Tony, whose best was the stuff of comic book heroes. Another pang. Don't pile on, he told his mind. But when had he ever taken his own advice? He looked around the room. Mama's lips moved in prayer. Pop just held his head in his hands. He'd be exhausted after working his usual hours, then coming here when he got the call. His sister, Monica, was trying to quiet Nicky, but the cramped space and choking worry must be driving the kid nuts. Monica sent him a glance, then slipped out around Lucy, whose toddler Nina was sleeping on her shoulder. His third sister, Sophie, should be studying. She was immersed in her doctorate program and couldn't afford this distraction. Not that she'd prioritize it that way, but that was the reality. This was going to take its toll on all of them. He was in the best position to keep watch, since his responsibilities were their usual nil. There was something to be said for that. It made you available in a crisis. But Lance didn't want to think of this as a crisis. They were still reeling from from Tony. He glanced at Gina, small and dark, standing near the door, and knew the emotions churning inside her. His sister-in-law should definitely be home. He could handle things here. Nonna Antonia was a fighter. She'd swing back, and she didn't miss. She'd swung for his backside enough times when she wasn't too busy defending him. They should go home and get some sleep. Pop hadn't had supper. Lance caught Mama's eye as she paused her praying. He nodded toward Pop, and she caught the gist. His family had a remarkable ability to communicate without words, though it didn't stop them heaping on words as well. They'd probably worn the hospital staff's patience a little thin, and he wanted Nonna to himself. Mama was the one to get that done. She stood up and started herding. He could almost hear the collective sigh from the nurses' station. Gripping Nonna's hand, he smiled, dipped his head, and dozed. Lance woke with a sense of urgency as acute as his need to use the men's room. Nonna was awake. Her hand had pinched his with a death grip, and she was making noises like none he'd heard from her before. He made no sign that they horrified him, just leaned closer.